Hello and welcome to this week or this month's edition of our Client of the Month, and I'm joined by a very, very special client of mine, just a truly delightful lady, Miss Kathleen Reynolds. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, and welcome back to the scene of the crime, if you will. Back to the. You thought when you walked out with your check this last time you'd never see us again.
Yes, but I'm glad I'm here on different circumstances.
Yeah, the good news is you're seeing us and you weren't in another accident.
That's it. Yes.
Which, to get people up to speed that are watching, you've been through this process twice.
Yes, sir.
2012, a pretty serious car accident.
Yes,
We
sir.
represented you for that.
Yes.
I dare say got you a good result.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 years later in 2015, involved in even perhaps a more serious accident.
Yes, sir.
And went through the process again. And aside from never wanting to take a ride in your car because you're apparently a magnet for cars, you've done remarkably well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel well.
Yeah.
Thanks to you and your wonderful team here.
Well, that's nice of you to say, which brings us to why you're here today. We've invited you to come down and tell perhaps those that would be looking at a personal injury lawyer or law firm, and let us know what your experience was like, both, good and bad if you have to.
It has been a long road, but a very satisfying one for myself and my family. Initially, it was 6 months before I even made the call to come see you and your staff. I just made the phone call. I worked at Sacred Heart, and as I drove home every day, I saw the big billboard, and you were the first attorney that came to my mind to call. But I made the phone call and was welcome to come in and sit down and discuss what had happened. And after the 6-month period of time, everything was exhausted. My insurance, I had tried to do it all on our own. And financially, emotionally, physically, I wasn't any better. And so that's when you all stepped in and kind of took over my case for me.
And was it what you were expecting, or did it
far exceeded what I had hoped, because I came in, talked with you, you guided me along the entire process. I basically just had to sign some papers, and you explained everything very well for us. My husband came along, and we knew what was going to happen each step along the way, and basically I just had to work on getting better. And
Great.
we just took it from there.
And ultimately, were you satisfied with the responsiveness of the staff? Did we take care of your phone calls? Did we behave the way we were supposed to?
Yes, absolutely. I never called here without, if I had to leave a message, I always got a return phone call. I was always met when I came in the front door with a smile and a welcome. They greeted me by name all the time. And I could drop things off, and I knew it would get taken care of, and to the right person.
So you had that experience, that first accident. You didn't race down to hire a lawyer. You took about 6 months, tried to handle it yourself.
Yes, sir.
Do you wish now that maybe we could have helped you sooner?
Yeah, I had to kind of backtrack a little bit, but we were just not those type of people. We just kind of, we're prior military, we can do it, we can handle it.
Let me let you in on a secret. Everybody says that. The public's perception is that everybody races down to the lawyer's office like they've won the lottery. But the reality is everyone comes down and they're just like you. They're a little bit ashamed and a little bit nervous about it. And the first thing they tell me is, we're not the kind of people that sue people, but we can't get our medical bills paid.
That's it.
We can't get our rental car squared away. We can't get our car fixed. There's a problem.
Yes, yes.
So you made it through the first experience.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the misfortune of a second accident.
Yes.
And you had to go right through it again.
Right, and I actually was contacted by their insurance company before I could even call our insurance company. I was home with pain pills and just not up to doing any phone calls, but I immediately called your office, and you handled it. We set up a time for me to come in, sign some papers, and that was pretty much it.
We were back after it.
We were back, as you say, it wasn't my first rodeo.
Right.
But yeah, I hope to not have to get back on the bull again. But yes, I really, it was an experience.
And this last one was pretty severe.
Yes.
It impacted your ability to do your job.
Yes.
And it was emotionally, it seemed to me, from my perspective, much more difficult the second time than it even was the first time.
Right, and more areas of my body were involved, my back, my arms. I tried to do my job, my arms were going numb. I had excruciating pain in my back, and my boss, my coworkers were wonderful with trying to work with me throughout the year, and you know, she put me where I could work and try to do my job, but my husband, I'd walk in after work and it was just horrible.
And I don't know if you know this, but I interviewed some of your coworkers and supervisors,
really?
and they had wonderful things to say about you. Wonderful things. So,
I miss them.
Yeah. So then, and that's another misconception. People think that the average personal injury client is looking for a way out of work, when in fact it's usually just the opposite. They just want your life back the way it was.
Absolutely. And I don't know how many times I said, I just want to be normal. I just don't want to hurt anymore. And, you know, I'd come home and I'd just like do what I could do, take another hot shower, trying to, you know, just sit in my chair at night and this and that, ice packs, heat packs, you know, everything, trying to relieve some of the pain. And then I'd go back to work and it's like I'll start it all over again. So
yeah. Well, you had some really nice things to say about our staff and our paralegals in the written questionnaire when you concluded your case, and I want to make sure they get noticed and recognized.
Oh my,
so,
yes.
what'd you think
and
of
I
that?
apologize for not knowing everybody's name. I remember Margaret Edwards; she was great.
Right.
Barb Smith and Jennifer, and I can't remember her name.
Lizzie, our
Lizzie.
receptionist. Yeah.
She's so sweet, and the other girls behind the scenes that I don't know, but. Anytime I walk in here, anybody, I'll just mention the people who keep the facility clean and the plants look great. You know, everything. I'm sure there's so many support staff and your medical doctors on staff, and I know you probably have talked with them and
well, it's a team approach. You as well as anyone can see. There's a lot of people involved, and a lot of contributors to making a successful claim, and we're really proud of the staff here and the team approach.
I couldn't ask for a better representation, and
that's very nice.
And I just been nothing but happy. You know.
Well, and I want to share something that we talked about before we came on. I'm wearing our Michles Booth commemorative Breast Cancer Awareness Month shirt, and you shared with me that this is your 14th year. You're a 14-year survivor.
Actually, 22. I was 22 years.
22
I was
years.
diagnosed in 1994.
Wow.
And I was only 37 when I was diagnosed. So
well, congratulations on your great
you.
success.
I do my mammograms every year, and thank you for representing that. We're just proud to, you know, take care of women. I'm going to try to go back and volunteer there.
Good for
in
you.
my old department.
Good for you.
Help out there at the hospital if I can. So.
Well, Kathleen, I want to thank you really from the deepest part of my heart. Thank you so much for coming down here and sharing with us. I know it's not easy. It takes time, and it's not. This isn't necessarily a happy place.
No,
you know, it's like
but
this was an emotional room for us over the course of the last couple of years.
But you all have been there through thick and thin for us, and I just am happy to say you've helped us. You have gone above and beyond our expectations for helping us, and I know your entire staff. We thank you so much
for
everything you've done for our family.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in. If you have questions, don't hesitate to give me a call, and we'll accept nominations for next month's Client of the Month. But you know what? They won't be any better and more of a joy to deal with than Kathleen and her husband and family. You guys were wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next week or next month.